Hey everybody, we'll get going here in just a sec. I'm just going to share the link out here. Going to put it on Twitter. Sorry, hey, I'm a one-man show. I got to do this all by myself. All right, cool. Sharing this on Twitter right now, and then I'll drop this into a Facebook group. Got a message from my friend Nate. Okay, I'm sure it's something about the game. Live from my basement. Game literally just ended less than 5 minutes ago. So I'm proud of myself for getting this going so quickly. So let me just give this just a second here. All right. Cool. Hey, we got a few viewers in right now, so we'll get going here. Let's see what's in the chat. Hey, big win. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, you're right, Jordan and Owen. You are right. That was a huge win. I'm buzzing right now. Was not at the game. As you can see, that would be crazy if I somehow went to the game and made it back to my swanky little basement in less than 30 seconds. That would have been amazing. It's impossible. I live in Sugar House. It's about a 10-minute drive from the Delta Center. But woo! You can feel the energy from here. I'm telling you what, that was awesome. That was crazy to see. I was taking notes the whole time, so I want to gather my thoughts. But thank you for tuning in to SLC Puck Live. We're here on Saturday, October 19th. We're ringing in a big win for the Utah Hockey Club. They just beat, as in just, like literally 5 minutes ago. Michael KESSELRING scored the game-winning goal in overtime over the Boston Bruins. That's a big win for Utah. I'm tuning in. I have the post-game show on in the background. They have Michael KESSELRING on right now. So if you're not listening to me, I think that's fair to say you might be listening to Michael KESSELRING. I'm curious what his post-game comments are. We'll check that out maybe later on. I wish I could do all this kind of stuff where I could get that going here. I mean, we'll see, how this evolves in the future. But the excitement's high, the energy's high. I just wanted to jump on real quick. We could talk about it. Jordan, I totally agree with you. I think the Michelli, Stenlin, Yamamoto line was really nice. And that goal came off of a really nice play by Alex Kerfoot, too. So when they caught him sort of mid-line change, I think it was really fun to see. Those guys are really feisty guys, all three of those guys, Kerfoot, Yamamoto, Michelli. It was cool to see Michelli Yamamoto out there. I think it would have been a little Hollywood-esque if he had scored in his first game of the year. I would have really suspected at that point that we were dealing with some sort of scripted scenario here. But still, like, tons of fun. Huge night by Utah. The defense was great. It was interesting coming into this game, and we saw. And by the way, this SLC Puck hoodie is available for sale at slcpuck.shop. So if you want to support the show, that's a great way to do it. But it was so interesting coming into this game and understanding that the narrative was Sean Durzee's out. They've got to find a way to replace him by committee. They're gonna miss a little bit of the offensive punch that they get from the blue line. But yeah, Midnight Math, dude, I appreciate it. We did beat Boston. You're right. And then again, the story was, how are they going to replace Sean Durze? Sean Durzee's not going to be with the team for 4 or 5 months, dealing with an upper body injury. And if you're new to hockey, get used to the phrases upper and lower body injury. That's how they keep it vague. It's almost as opaque, the injury situation in the NHL, as what Utah football does with their injuries. It's almost that sort of vague and undefined, but it is what it is. But again, the story coming into this game was like, how are they going to replace Durze? They're going to have to do it by committee, and I think that's literally exactly what you saw. And I I did not expect to see the offensive attack from the blue line be what it was, but there were a couple of really brilliant plays in this game. And obviously, the one everybody's going to remember, the one that rightfully should be remembered, was Michael Kesselring's goal in overtime to give them the win. And like, my phone's blowing up right now. People are like, "Did you see that? Oh my gosh, that was so cool!" My boss just texted me, "That was amazing," in all caps. And yeah, I agree, that was. So that was a great play by Kesselring to get the game winner. He obviously hit the post big time earlier in the game, and a shot that would have tied the game up, or put them, depending on what point of the game that was. Sorry, I have all my notes here that I was taking during the game here. Looks like Kesselring's goal. Yeah, he hit the post. The light went off. That would have tied the game up at 1-1 in the second period. That was kind of an interesting moment right there. Again, the light went off. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure who the goal judge was that set that off, but it was a little deceiving. Apparently, the whole Delta Center was buzzing. You could hear it through the TV. But that goal, obviously, they did the replay as the play continued. They confirmed it was no goal. So Kesselring, missed on the first one, but it really made it count where it mattered most, which was in overtime. But Utah had a lot of chances. This was a game Utah could have won 4-1, maybe even 4-0, because I thought the goal allowed in the second period by Cole Koepka was a little bit of a soft goal. I think even Connor Ingram would tell you that was kind of a soft goal. But here's what I think should be understood. Okay, this is the truth. This is the fact of the matter. When you buy a ticket to see the Utah Hockey Club, you're getting an incredible deal. I know there's been a lot of talk about how expensive Utah Hockey Club tickets are this year, and yes, they are expensive, right on the surface. But what you got to understand is when you buy a ticket to see the Utah Hockey Club, you're more than likely going to get free hockey. They're going to give you a little bit of bonus. This is the Utah Hockey Club's fourth overtime game in only 6 games that they played as a franchise. So there's more than statistically speaking, there's a 66% chance you're going to get free hockey when you go see the Utah Hockey Club. Of course, that's joking. I don't expect that trend to continue all year. That would be insane. Can you imagine if they played 66% of their games going into overtime? They'd score a lot of points in the standings. And speaking of which, that's kind of the exciting thing to realize, is when you look at the way this team has started the season, and I know I'm talking really fast. It's because my heart's beating out of my chest. This is really exciting. I feel like I've packed a ton of thoughts into the first 8 minutes and 30 seconds already. But you think about it, and now I'm gonna slow down. Of 12 possible points available this season, because they played 6 games, Utah Hockey Club has managed to score 9 in the standings already, which is very impressive considering this was a team that, as the Arizona Coyotes missed the playoffs, had a 14-game losing streak. Their lack of success, a big contributing factor in why they ended up in Utah. And they were a team that I think a lot of the national pundits thought would just be maybe squeaking into the playoffs. But I sort of predicted to start the year that these guys would have a ton of juice. They'd be really, really excited to see an arena full of fans, a legit arena. Yes, Delta Center does have its sightline issues, but it also holds about 14,000 people. Eli Stokes is saying here tonight, I thought versus Chicago was really loud, but it felt even louder tonight. The Delta Center was booming! Were you there, Eli? You were at the game, and now you're here tuning into SLC Puck Live. Props to you, man. I appreciate that. Are you driving in your car, watching me on YouTube? That's crazy, dude. I appreciate the commitment. That's awesome. Be safe, by the way. But such a crazy game, so fun to watch. There's no better way to spend a few hours than to watch the Utah Hockey Club. They're the hottest ticket in town. Speaking of which, another game that's going on right now, and yes, the light's going to change as I switch browsers here. Let's see. Utah's playing right now. They're playing TCU. How are they doing? The Utah football season is driving me effing insane, by the way. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, I know you guys tuned in for post-game reaction about the hockey team. Whatever. Hold on. I gotta know for my own edification. They're only down 10-0. No, that's not bad. But anyway, thank you for saying the Delta Centerman. I know. I think that's really weird. I don't know who made that stylistic decision to just call it Delta Center. It's by proper grammar in English, isn't it? The Delta. I don't get that. Someone's got to explain that to me. But coming into this game, there were some storylines to watch. Obviously, the lack of Sean Durzi. And yes, I think the team does look a little bit different when Durzi's out. I think they lack a little bit of offensive zip. I don't think it's sustainable, Herm. I think they're going to go through some ebbs and flows throughout the year. But, I do think there was a lack of offensive zip. But like I was saying, and like the players have been saying, they need to step this up by committee. And it's an opportunity for guys to show their stuff, to take on a bigger role. No one did that better than Michael Kesselring tonight. And I honestly, beyond just scoring the game-winning goal in overtime, I have this written down in my notes. I thought Kesselring played a great game. I thought he was taking really sharp angles, getting to the corners, beating guys out for pucks, making fast, definitive decisions with the puck. I really enjoyed watching Kesselring play this game, and you kind of got the feeling he embraced the magnitude of the moment. They put him on the top line pairing with Mikhail Sergachev, and the dude made the most of it. He looked awesome tonight. I thought Kesselring really made the most of this opportunity, and the whole team benefited. And I think that's a great takeaway. But there were so many so many of these guys, and we all know the big names, right? They've been cramming them down our throats for 5-6 months now. The Clayton Kellers of the world, the Dylan Gunthers, the Mikhail Sergachevs. And we're familiar with Connor Ingram, and we all know these big names. But tonight it really felt like it was the role players' night to take over and carry Utah to a win. And I'm talking about guys like Kesselring. I'm also talking about guys like Alex Kerfoot. I'm also talking about Kyler Yamamoto. I'm talking about Matthias Michelli. I thought those guys had as much to do with the result as anybody else on the ice. Keller had some nice looks at the net. So did Dylan Gunther, and it was interesting to watch Gunther. And yeah, Jordan, I totally agree. It is interesting that Logan Cooley doesn't have a goal yet. And you get the feeling watching him that he's very hungry for that goal. And, I love the energy he brings. I think he's the best forechecker on his line with Jack McBain and Dylan Gunther. I think that he does a lot for that line that helps those guys succeed. But I think tonight the story of the game was really the role players stepping it up and making the most of it. But it was such an interesting game. I think this is how I explain hockey to people who are new to it, right? You have to think of hockey as a game that's divided into thirds. So there's 3 zones, there's 3 periods, 3 forwards, and then basically 3 defensemen when you count the goalie. And so, the feeling is if whichever team can win 2 of the 3 battles, whether it's with the forwards, the zones, the periods, you win 2 of the 3 battles, you have a really good chance of winning this game. And winning any hockey game, really. And I think that was something you could notice in this game, where I think Utah dominated the first period. Second period, I think you have to give it to Boston because they did score their goal. Utah did not score in the second period, but I think Utah had a lot of good looks. And then the third period was Utah's win as well. So that was their second of the 3 periods that they won. And then in overtime, I think there was these little decisions that I think were really smart. I think having Kevin Stenlund come in and start the overtime period by winning the faceoff was really smart, and that kind of had a big implication on the game where you saw Utah had possession. Clayton Keller draws the penalty because they have possession. They go on to take the power play and eventually score the game-winning goal. And I think you have to sort of give some credit to the idea of starting the period by having Kevin Stenlund take the face-off. And he's one of the better face-off men on the team. So I thought that was a really smart decision that played a big impact on the outcome of this game. But again, God, that was so. I mean, again, the Utah Hockey Club, the way they're starting this season is kind of magical. It was something I sort of predicted. Again, I thought they would come out and come out of the gates with a lot of juice and be energized to play in front of a new fan base and have all the resources in place that they need to succeed. But to see it actually happen is something else. Like it's fun. It's exciting. I so badly wish I had been at the Delta Center tonight to see the game because I'm sure the place went absolutely bonkers. An overtime victory, those are very thrilling. I've seen a few overtime Jazz wins at the Delta Center. Those are crazy fun. Those are exciting. I can see the stream's breaking up a little bit right now, so stick with me. Sorry. I did make the investment on a new camera, if you can see that. So you're seeing me in 4K right now, so you're welcome for that. But again, like so many things, let's just run through the box score really quick. I think we'll probably just go for like 30 minutes tonight. So we're here for 16 minutes so far. I'm trying to, like, I get this warning notification. I don't know what the hell that means. Let me just make sure I'm still on the air, so to speak, because wouldn't it be funny if I was just talking to nobody? I don't even know, guys. I don't even know. Let me just make sure I'm still on the air really quick, guys, and we'll get. Can I get somebody in the chat letting me know if I can still be seen or heard or whatever. Again, sorry. Hey, listen, it's a lo-fi production here, especially in the original studio. Alex, man, so nice of you to say. Appreciate it. Let me just make sure we're cooking here. Yep. Oh, there's me. I can see me. Okay, great. Sorry again. We're just getting going here, making sure this works. So, thanks, Owen. Appreciate it. So let's just run through the let's go through the box score really quick, and we'll start with the player stats. I'll just kind of point out things that I see that I find interesting here. So face-off percentage, Utah's doing better than I think we expected to on the face-offs, which is good. We see Logan Cooley won 4 of 9. Alex Kerfoot won 6 of 10. Those are great numbers. I think they probably won the majority of face-offs again. I'll get a better idea of that when I get to the team stats. Kevin Stenlund, again, best face-off guy on the team. He won 5 of 8 face-offs tonight, including the one in overtime, which was very big and very crucial to the outcome of this game. More things here in the box score. Block shots, a couple block shots by Lawson Krause. Definitely saw him getting down and taking some shots. He led the team in block shots tonight as well. Penalty minutes, pretty good. Utah only committed 4 penalties tonight, which is fine. They weathered the storm. That's better than how they have been previously this year. I believe they were leading the league in penalty minutes thus far this season. So a little bit more of a disciplined performance, and that paid off big time. Let's see, like a lot of good things here. But let me just see. Look here, time on ice here. I noticed it's interesting to see we're seeing a lot more sort of equal distribution throughout the penalty kill unit. And I see here Dylan Guenther got like a minute of time on the penalty kill unit, and Kyler Yamamoto got none. I think that's interesting. I think that's something that's got to change. Dylan Guenther had a tremendous amount of time on the ice today. He had 20 minutes. 12 seconds. That looks like it's about third among the forward unit and one of the higher ones in the game. Mikhail Sergachev's been a freaking tank on the ice. He played 28 total minutes. Played in all 3 units as well. He led the team with 34 shifts, from what I can tell. Ingram, great performance. I think he was just one slip up away from a shutout. His goal that he allowed in the second period. Against Cole Koepka was a little soft. I think he 5-holed him from about 30 feet away, and that's just the kind of goal that I'm sure a guy like Connor Ingram wants to get back. But yeah, Jordan, I totally agree. Yeah, the shorthanded defense was solid. I think we saw again Michael Kesselring actually led the Utah Hockey Club defensemen in time on ice while they were shorthanded, and he had a great game. He He was just behind, well, not just behind, he was like 6 minutes behind Mikhail Sergachev for time on ice among defensemen, but he did a great job. He had 33 shifts and 34 for Sergachev, so he was on the ice quite a bit. And again, awesome game by Kesselring, including the game-winning goal. But I thought the whole game he was stellar. I think it was kind of interesting, like a little bit of a non-factor there on both ends from Brad Marchand and David Pastrnak. David Pastrnak just had 2 shots. I can see 3 giveaways, no takeaways. He did commit a penalty as well. It looks like let's see here. Yeah, they were among the team leaders in time on the ice among forwards. Let's go to the team stats. I think we'll see some telling stuff in there. Utah outshoots Boston 32-23. The hitting definitely in favor of Boston. I think that was evident through the first 3 periods. In particular, they out-hit Utah 29-12. Faceoffs won. Yeah, I was right. Utah won the majority of the faceoffs, 26-23. Power play opportunities. Both teams went scoreless on power plays, but Utah only gave Boston, 3 power play opportunities. So a much more disciplined performance by Utah. That's what you got to do, especially when you're missing guys on your blue line like Sean Durzi and still John Marino, who has not played yet this year. Again, let's keep going here. Block shots. Look at Boston. I mean, they kind of got the full Boston experience in a lot of ways. They were big. They were taking up a lot of space. I think just by sheer size of the Bruins, I think that attributes a big reason why the Bruins committed a lot more or had a lot more block shots than Utah. They blocked 19 shots compared to 8 by Utah. Kind of even stuff the rest of the way. But I mean, it was a really, really tremendous performance. Dominic Moore called it Utah's most complete performance of the year, just as they started the postgame show, and as we went live here. But I feel like a little gypped. I'll be, maybe a little bit. I mean, if you follow me on social media, you probably noticed that I went to the game in Anaheim on Wednesday, which was a ton of fun. It was an overtime loss. The Utah Hockey Club lost 4-3 in overtime. I'll tell you more about that when I do the podcast tomorrow, which will be my 50th podcast, by the way. So big thanks to those of you guys who've tuned in and supported the show along the way. We're going to be celebrating 50 episodes tomorrow, so that'll be pretty cool. But but again, I feel a little gypped because I went to the Chicago game, no overtime. Why does everybody else get overtime? I picked one of the few Utah hockey games that doesn't have overtime, that doesn't get free hockey. That doesn't seem fair to me. I think I should be entitled to tickets to another game. So if anybody who can make that plea for me and rectify things for me, I'd really appreciate it, because it just doesn't seem fair that I spend my hard-earned money to attend the inaugural game against the Chicago Blackhawks, and it ends up being one of the only games this year that doesn't include free hockey. That doesn't seem right to me. I don't know. Maybe that needs to be resolved. But I think the other of Utah's 2 goals, obviously Michael Kesselring is going to be the one that everybody's going to remember for getting the building off. Do I think Durzi was cursed because I didn't hit 50 episodes, which was your goal for the season? Ooh. It's not impossible, Alex. It's certainly not impossible that the fact that I didn't reach my goal maybe had an impact on Sean Durzi's injury. I guess I just say I'm sorry. I fell short. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sean Durzi. It's crazy. Sean, my mom and my sister, my nephew, went to the Utah Hockey Club kids open house before the season started. Where you could meet players and stuff. And Sean Durzi was the player that they met. And I'm not sure what was communicated there. I'm not sure if they made that promise to Sean Durzi, where they said, hey, Austin, our uncle, brother, son, maniac person that is in our lives that we'll never be able to get rid of, has a goal of doing 50 episodes. And he probably said, that's great. That's my number. And I didn't reach that number. So I am sorry, Sean Durzi. I'm sorry for what I've done to you. You're going to miss a significant chunk of time. I'm sorry to the whole Utah Hockey Club fan base. Let's just be clear, though. Since Jersey's injury, Utah Hockey Club has scored 3 out of 4 possible points in the standings. So has it had that much of impact yet? No, it hasn't, but it could have impact in the future. But again, the thing I was trying to get to before Alex interrupted me with making this really introspective question was I thought Kolyachonek's goal was like kind of an unbelievable like heads up play. I don't think you see defensemen really spring on a breakout like that typically. And if you missed Kolyachonek's goal, I encourage you to go back and see it because it is like actually a really fascinating goal. Where it's just like it starts as a very typical breakout, right? It's a pass from Keller to Schmaltz, and then somehow out of nowhere, Kolyachonek it just springs, and he's going up the left side. It's a place no one like you would never think to see a defenseman at any point during a breakout, but it was actually just brilliant. And Kolyachonek caught the pass in stride, entered the zone with a ton of speed, and made a sick move on Jeremy Swayman, and then took, I believe he was on his backhand side, just nearly top shelved a backhand to tie the game up. And that I can't imagine how nuts the Delta Center must have gone at that point. I remember watching that on TV. I was like, was that a defenseman who scored that goal? And it's come to find it was Vladislav Kolyachonek. And like that was an effing brilliant play by him. Like just to find that space on the ice. Great read by Nick Schmaltz to find him on the breakout. Unbelievable play. I again, so many crazy plays that happened in this game, and like a few missed opportunities by Utah, some pucks that slid through the crease, some pucks that hit the post, but like nuts, and like so cool that like the story and the concern that this team was dealing with coming into this game was they lost their one of their most offensive defensemen. How are they going to make up for it? Well, the answer was they're going to do it by committee, and that's literally exactly what they did. So, I mean, it's so interesting. It's like it's problem solving at its finest. There's this problem here. How do we solve it? Okay, this is what we do. We be creative, and we be aggressive. You saw Kolyachonek being creative. You saw Michael Kesselring being very aggressive all game. Comes together. It's a great win for Utah. I think a lot of people who are at the Delta Center are going to remember this game for a while. I wish I had been there. It looked like a shitload of fun. And I can say shit because this post-game show is not going on KSL.com. So I consider that my outlet. This is my release valve. So anyway, just to wrap it up, awesome game by the Utah Hockey Club. Crazy fun. Utah Hockey Club advances to 4-1-1. Again, they've won 9 points in the standings out of a possible 12 to start the season. The Boston Bruins fall to 3-2-1. Goals for Utah. Vladislav Kolyachonek scores in the third to tie the game up at 1-1, and then Michael Kesselring wins the game in overtime to give Utah a 2-1 victory. So that's the post-game reaction. I like doing these. I think they're fun. They're a little bit more lo-fi, I guess, a little bit of a easier lift in terms of production. You know, I just turn on my freaking blue light here and my cheap microphone, and yes, I did get a new camera. So yeah, these are fun. So I think I'll do these more throughout the season. If I'm not able to do it, you know, you'll see me announce that on social media. But again, I'm gonna watch all these games, so I figure it's just easy to flip on a quick show here for 30 minutes, and that's where we're at right now. So, anyways, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, merch at slcpuck.shop. This hoodie's sick. Go get yours, and appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Oh, and episode 50 of SLC Puck is tomorrow.